If you're trying to manage your space, to manage your life, here are some decluttering tips that I think have worked really well for me and have helped me kind of not have too many instances where I need to declutter often. Manage what comes in. It's really hard to let go of things once you start thinking of the money you spent, how nice the things are, and all that stuff. There's just so much more room to rationalize when the things are already there, and that's why a lot of people end up hoarding, because they look at their stuff and they're like, oh, but it's so nice, oh, but it was so expensive, or yeah, it doesn't really hurt to keep it, I have the space to keep it. But once you kind of manage what comes in the first place, then you don't have so much to purge to begin with. Take it slowly. When I started decluttering, I fell in love with decluttering. I was so jazzed by all the additional space I had, how clear and airy and neat my space was. But it got to a point where I was kind of over decluttering, so I would declutter so much, and then I would get to a point where I'd be like, oh, actually I should have maybe held on to that just a little bit until I got something to replace it, or I should have thought about that purchase a little bit more. Or with clothes especially, I found that I was purging a lot but also replacing what I purged quickly. So if especially you are having a hard time letting go of things, do it slowly. Start with, okay, this is torn, I don't want to wear torn clothes, let me put it aside. So just have like a pile of clothes or a pile of stuff where you're like, I'm not feeling too strongly about these things. Let me just put them aside and then take some time to think about it. A one in, one out rule. So if you bring something in, then you can take something out. This doesn't even have to be stuff from the same category. So it doesn't mean that if you bring something into your wardrobe that then you have to take something out of your wardrobe. If there's really nothing to take out of that category, then you can look at it as taking something out of your shoe collection, your bag collection, your house, and just minimize that space pole. The other tip, which have really been the first tip, is know your why. Like, why are you decluttering? There are people who are very comfortable with their space even when they're maximalists, and that's completely fine. So if you're feeling the need and the urge to declutter, then why? What's your major reason, or what's your goal, and how are you looking to achieve that goal? Do you want a neater space? Do you want a cleaner space? Do you want to be able to manage things easier? Do you want to be able to dress more comfortably or with more ease? Understanding your why really helps you kind of stick to the cause and actually declutter. After understanding your why, it's really also important to understand what's important to you. So for me, for example, clothes are important to me. Shoes are not that important to me. I think of shoes as functional tools that I need to go out there and walk, and that need to match majority of my wardrobe. I like to have multifunctional shoes, not just multi-seasonal shoes. For me, if I had 5 pairs of shoes that work great, that would be fine. But with my wardrobe, things are a little bit different. I really like clothes. I like to dress and to dress well. So my thinking when it comes to clothes is gonna be a little bit more different. So figure out what really matters to you and what really doesn't matter to you, and purge that. Allow yourself to use your nice things. A lot of times we hoard things because we kind of save them for the future, or a nice occasion, or a future self. But you might not be here in the future, and I don't mean to be like a Debbie Downer, but the thing is, those things are special enough for you to use now. You are special enough to use those things. So use the stuff that you find too nice, or too nice to wear, or too fancy, or too out there. Wear those things, use those things. It really helps you discover real quick what works and what doesn't work, and then you'll be able to purge those things. Allow yourself to have experiences over things. I think once you start to really get into the swing of having more experiences than having more stuff, then you tend to be like, okay, I'm willing to, let these things go, or I'm willing to prioritize experiences in my budget over stuff. And that's just how I think of decluttering, and how decluttering helps you in the long run. I hope this helps.